Hey, welcome to a downtown office building. See that hole right there? I crawled down in there. It's the dead of night. I needed some place to record this video where it's gonna be quiet. So I'm gonna answer your questions. And your questions sometimes get out of hand. You remember the last one? You used the word suck in it. This is a Christian video. You don't want to use the word suck, okay? So I'm gonna answer your questions. The Q&A session number 2 coming right up. Welcome back to the Heavens Metal video podcast. So the first question comes from Eric Nielsen of East Rochester, New York. I'll give you his address if you don't like his question. Why do my Eagles suck this year? What did we tell you about using the word suck, Eric? This is a Christian show. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles suck this year because of injuries. This is the National Football League. These athletes are average a little over 200 pounds. They run swiftly. They run fast. And they collide with each other quite a bit. Anyway, so the injury bug has hit the Eagles pretty hard this year. They suck because they're the Eagles, and they're the arch rival of the Dallas Cowboys. In fact, I'm recording this on a Thursday, and the Cowboys and Eagles are playing for all the marbles in the NFC East. Winner takes the division. So even though it's the NFC least this year, and all the teams suck, especially the Giants and the Redskins. But the Eagles and Dallas aren't doing too good. They're both sitting at 500 right now. And so the winner of the NFC East, which will make the playoffs, is probably going to limp in there with an 8-8 record. You're not supposed to say in a speech, but this is not a speech. This is a video podcast. So there. This game is going to be in Philadelphia, which is a really, really harsh place to play. It's called the City of Brotherly Love, but they threw snowballs at Santa, and they cheered when Michael Irvin lay on Veterans Stadium turf with a possible fractured neck and possible a life of paralysis laying in front of him. Very gruesome city. Not much brotherly love there, especially when it comes to these two teams. Anyway, I'm excited because it's like the playoffs. It's like you win and you go in, so that's really cool. So that's why the Eagles suck this year. Eric Nielsen, husband of Sarah. Eric's a saxophone player, and he doesn't suck at the saxophone. How about that? I gave you a compliment because I'm just like the better person here. Okay, next question from Adam Scott. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? The answer to that is written on a piece of paper, and it's in Chuck Norris's vault. I was able to break in there, coming through the ceiling tile at his ski chalet in Oregon, and find out the answer. The answer is 12. So the next question from Nixie Rigmarole from Lago Vista, Texas. How many Lowes would Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob Lowe's? The answer is technically 2, but sort of 3. The first one he gets away with because everybody's like, hey, it's Rob Lowe. Nobody suspects a thing when he takes their money. They all think it's like a reality TV show, and he gets away with it. The second one, it's captured on video, and they realize something's up, but, Rob Lowe pulls out a gun and gets away with it. The third one he attempts to rob of the Lowe's hardware store is right across the street from a Home Depot, because Lowe's always opens up a store whenever a Home Depot comes to the neighborhood, and vice versa. In Hutto, Texas, the Home Depot came first, the Lowe's came second, so I'm thinking that Lowe's is the copycat. But anyway, the third Lowe's that Rob Lowe attempts to rob, if Rob Lowe could rob Lowe's, is his last, because he gets caught, because cameras everywhere, he's wanted, and they capture him on the third attempt. So technically he only robbed 2, because robbing means you get away with the cash and not you get busted for it. You don't, try to rob a place and get arrested and say, I robbed that place, because it's, whoa, a violent collision there. This would have injured a Philadelphia Eagle defensive back if their cell phone would have fallen down like that. Anyway, that answers those 3 questions. There's a question from Mike Ernest from Facebook, Idaho. It's the actual name of a town. No, it's not. Are lust control reforming and playing shows? The technical answer is yes, we are. And in fact, if you're a promoter and want to bring us out, give us a call. And but the practical answer is no. We haven't played a show since January of 2018, I think it is. So coming up on 2 years. This is a drought. I need some water. There's no lust control shows. There's been a drought of shows. It's parching my throat, and I'm the singer. But we are technically active, ready, willing, and able to play shows. Although we're a bunch of grumpy old men now. We wear watches, and that's what some kid at Cornerstone said, that we were pretty good for old men, but we wear watches, which kind of defines our age group, is that the fact that we wear watches in the year 2011. But getting back to lust control, if we do get booked for a show, all the guys in the band are going to be like, hey, we need to rehearse for 2 months before we can play a show. And one of our members, who shall remain nameless, wants to play a 20-minute set. And so, for the record, we can't do that. At the last show we played, we opened up for One Bad Pig. It was a record release party for One Bad Pig at Spinners in Pflugerville. And we rehearsed for it and played a 20-minute set. We were tight, we were crisp, and we got off the stage. It was a pretty good show, but it's only 20 minutes long. We cannot do that again because people, especially if they pay to see us, are probably going to want more than 20 minutes. So besides our usual repertoire of the hits like Mad at the Girls, Planned Parenthood, maybe If You Fail, and Finger, and Fire Ants, and Make Money and Die, which is usually the concert starter, the kickoff song. We should probably do Dancing Naked. Madeline Murray O'Hara on Judgment Day is kind of a good one. You Make Me Puke, and The Big M and Deliverance. And The Big M, Deliverance, and If You Fail is the trilogy set. Anyway, that's the questions I'm going to answer for this episode of Q&A session number 2. Got a couple more questions on here that I'm going to do some research on before I answer. So join the discussion, ask some more questions, and I'm glad to answer them. No question is too difficult for Dr. Doug. I'm not a doctor, Tony Short.